Oh, what's up GameLeapers? It's the Jizz coming in hot, eh? And in today's video, I'm going to be revealing the 10 best builds of the upcoming 11.11 patch based on the current meta and the 11.11 changes, of course. And these changes, I went through these yesterday and there are a lot of item tweaks around the corner. So to know what builds are going to be as nuts as the Shaco man's Reddit reacting to the Shaco nerfs, make sure you stick around for the whole video because there are some incredibly OP item and champion combos in here that you have to know about. Now, are any of these as OP as the GameLeap website? Well, of course not, right? Because our site, guys, is the home you need to hone your skills on the Rift and to achieve your goals this season. I don't care what elo you're in, what region you're from. Well, maybe EU Nordic East is a bit of a worry. No, I'm just joking, of course. All of you, right, are going to improve massively by just watching our elite content. Links, as always, in the description and comment section. All right, let's get into it, guys. And the first item and champion combination I want to talk to you guys about is the Everfrost and Zhonya's combination, which has been so strong ever since Riot changed Everfrost and gave it a bit of a buff. And the real changing point for Everfrost, guys, was in 11.4 when Riot actually put Kindle Gem in there as part of the build. So it's just more convenient to build it now, and champions who work really well with cooldown, of course, like Sylas and Ahri, can make use of that Kindle Gem and make Everfrost more worth. Now, why else is Everfrost great? Well, of course, the active, which roots enemies hit in that straight line and also slows enemies just hit by the cone. And this is obviously great for Ahri and Sylas, champions like these, because then you can land your charm, you can land your chains. It just immobilizes the enemy champions enough for you to land your CC and set up kills for you and your teammates. Now, after Everfrost, guys, if you really wanted to, you could always get a Cosmic Drive for even more ability haste, but it's probably too excessive. You know, it's like taking creatine when you go in the gym. It's not like you really need it. Or, of course, and I think the more reliable and consistent build is to continue with a Zhonya's Hourglass. This gives you a little bit of ability haste, nowhere near as much as Cosmic Drive, of course, but it's still enough. And what you're really getting Zhonya's for, guys, is for the active, which is still so broken for the amount of gold it is. So coming in at number 10, guys, is the Everfrost Zhonya's combination. Now, beating this combination to the number 9 spot is a build that has made Urgot one of the best champions, and he is still going to be one of the best champions next patch. And what build is it? Well, this, of course, is the Shrinebreaker, Titanic Hydra, and Black Cleaver setup. And guess what? Next patch, Black Cleaver is getting buffed. Now, I've talked about this build so much recently, guys, and once again, I hate to sound like a broken record here, but the reason Urgot is so good is because the Titanic Hydra's cleave passive, so the on-hit is getting transferred into your W, and seeing as you max your purge, it makes it so hard to deal with you. Shrinebreaker gives you that stickiness you need to stick to your targets, and because Black Cleaver is buffed, you're going to be doing more damage now because of that extra armor reduction. So tanks in the top lane who are going to be going the new Warden Smell, the new Frozen Heart, and all that, you are going to be more powerful. So Shrinebreaker, Titanic, Black Cleaver, Urgot in at number 9. Now, beating that combination, guys, to the number 8 spot on this countdown is a build that has really been improved recently because of the recent Riftmaker buff. So the build starts, guys, by rushing in Nash's Tooth, and the Tooth for champions like Katarina, Teemo, Kayle, and Teemo, by the way, is getting buffed next patch's W. Not only is the AP great in the attack speed, but also the on-hit, and just like I mentioned with Urgot, the on-hit from Nash's, guys, is getting transferred into these champions on-hit themselves. So Katarina's E, her daggers and her ultimate, Teemo's E, and of course Kayle's E as well. And when you throw the new Riftmaker in there, you are just very hard to deal with because champions are now stacking it quicker, guys. So you're getting to max stacks quicker. Even though the max stacks aren't as much as they used to be, you're getting to that 9% a lot faster, which means in short trades, even in long trades, your damage output is higher. And this is one of the reasons why Katarina, why Teemo, why Kayle, all their win rates are really, really good at the moment. So get around this combination. Now, if you guys get around this series, by the way, remember to leave a like to let us know. And coming in at number 7, guys, we have a staple pick here. So if you play Zed, if you play Talon, Qiyana, really any AD assassin in the game, you will be pleased to know that Prowler's Claw next patch with Serpent's Fang is going to be just as good. Now, of course, this will upset some of you because, yeah, playing against Prowler's Claw and Serpent's Fang AD assassins isn't really that fun. But even though I kind of dislike it sometimes as well, guys, because it is a bit obnoxious, I'll admit it, I can't run from the fact that it is still one of the strongest builds. And Prowler's Claw is what really makes the build strong, and then Serpent's Fang as this meta is like the icing on the cake, right? Because there's so many shields in the game at the moment, especially with the new Shurelya's battle song being so good right now on supports like Lulu, Janna, Karma, etc. So Prowler's Claw giving the most lethality in the game, and of course the mythic passive, which is giving you lethality for each major item you have. This means that not only your mythic spike is really strong, but also for each major item, you're getting lethality as well. So you're getting that scaling, you're getting that armor penetration, and it's very hard to survive against these single target damage dealers. Now, a build that's shown up recently, guys, on our videos is this build right here, and of course I have to shout out Xpedu again because otherwise I'm going to get flamed in the comments. This build is for all you Shen mains out here, and I've touched on this before, and I'll be quick here if you don't play Shen. Turbo Chem Tank, Redemption, and Mikhail's. And this build, guys, is all about enhancing your shields in your passive, and of course your ultimate, which got buffed recently. And even though on Shen next patch you might be interested in the new Hallmarks and the other tank items that got buffed, but this build right here is way more interesting, and honestly, probably more effective, especially now because you're seeing Jinxes, you're seeing Lulus as well in the bot lane. When that late game comes around, your shield power is going to be so valuable. Now, the top 5 builds, guys, of 11.11, what can these top 5 builds be? Well, the first one is going to be a build build I just mentioned. So the Shurelya's Rush, and we don't need to really expand on this too much here, but the new Shurelya's, guys, which is giving you and your allies movement speed when you empower them or protect them with a shield, with movement speed buffs, whatever it is. This is great in this meta because damage, as I've said a million times, is all over the place. It's a bit like toxicity in silver games. This means that you and your carries are going to be able to dodge more skill shots, put out more damage, and just win more games. Now, I kind of just alluded to this build, guys, but here we go. The number 4 build of 1111 is a tank mythic, so just any tank mythic really in the game, followed by a Warmogs. And Warmogs, guys, it is changing, so you're getting access to its passive when you have 1100 bonus health, so from your items and runes, of course. So if you just have a tank mythic that is giving you around maybe 200 to 300 HP, and then you get a Warmogs in there as well, and you might start with a Doran shield, you might have some runes that will affect your health, like Overgrowth, for example. This means that if you're playing Sion, if you're playing Cho'Gath, if you're playing Shen, if you're playing pretty much any tank in the game, Ornn, you are getting access to Warmogs passive, as you can see on your screen now, earlier in a game, and this makes your 2-item spike bigger than what it was previously. So welcome back to the tank meta. Now, if you don't want to play a tank in the top lane, guys, well, this specific setup right here, coming in at number 3 on the countdown, is a Bruiser setup that is one of the strongest in the game, and next patch is going to be even stronger because for Lee Sin, Gore Drinker and Black Cleaver are the nuts, and Black Cleaver, as I've said, is getting buffed as well, so you're going to be reducing that target's armor more. Now, Lee Sin is getting nerfed. Okay, so you're getting an extra second cooldown in your E. What does this mean? Well, in lane, your poke and harass won't be as good into melee matchups, but still, you've got so many things going for you as Lee Sin, just like this channel, guys, so make sure you hit that sub button and the notification bell so you don't miss our next upload. And yes, for Lee Sin, you've got sustain, you've got setup, you've got gank setup, you've got dive potential, you've got CC, and when you get to those team fights, you can one-shot pretty much any enemy swishy because, of course, your ultimate, which then guarantees your Q, and yeah, it's just GG. And I'm sure you guys have seen it by now, lane Lee Sin is one of the strongest champions in the game. This is why. Now, the top 2 builds, guys, here we go. The runner-up to the best build of 1111 is the Sorc Shoes and Hextech Rocket Belt combination, which has been strong ever since Riot changed Rocket Belt a few patches ago because they put magic penetration in it. So champions who work really, really well with magic penetration, like Akali, Annie, Vladimir, Fiddlesticks, and 3 of these champions I just mentioned were in our top champions video. It's just a very OP setup, and it's kind of like the Prowler's Core as well, because the mythic passive in Rocket Belt, which is giving you magic penetration, for each major item you get from that point onwards, you are getting more magic penetration. So even if you get a death cap after your Rocket Belt, you are getting more magic penetration just from that. The Rocket Belt dash as well on champions like Akali and Annie and Fiddlesticks is also super useful. So this build, guys, how can it not be in this countdown? So the number 1 build, what on earth can this be? Well, if you think back to that top 20 champions video, I put Susan, so Nasus, as the number 1 champion, right? And the reason for this, guys, yes, okay, Nasus is actually in a good spot right now, but the real reason for this is because Divine Sundra and Frozen Heart and pretty much any tank item in the game, they are so good. And next patch, Divine Sundra is getting buffed, so you're going to be doing more damage to champions with more HP, and that's going to be the case because Warmogs is buffed, so you're going to see more tanks, and you're going to be healing for more as well when you're proccing that Sheen passive. And Nasus, as we know, guys, with his innate healing from his ultimate and his Q, this is just music to the ears. Frozen Heart as well, guys, is going to reduce the enemy's attack speed by 5% more, so if you're against attack speed based top laners like Jax, maybe Tryndamere, if you're against Jinx as well in terms of the team composition, Vayne, this makes that power spike even better. So Nasus comes in at number 1 with the Divine Sunder of Frozen Heart, and pretty much any tank item you want to build after that. So those are the top 10 builds, guys, of 1111. Now, before you go, make sure to check out the GameLeap website, even if it's 10 seconds of your time, just check it out. You will love it, trust me. And of course, let me know your thoughts, guys, on what you think is going to be OP next patch in the comments. Builds, items, champions, whatever it's going to be. Let me know in the comments. This has been the Jizz, and until tomorrow's upload, peace.